The entire courtroom went silent when the judge looked down at the DNA report and said the 5 words that shattered everything. "You are not the father." A woman in the second row gasped. Someone whispered, "I knew it." The young mother on the plaintiff's side covered her mouth. But the man standing at the defence table didn't move. He didn't flinch. He didn't argue. He just looked at the little girl sitting beside her mother and held her gaze. And then he said something no one in that courtroom expected. "Then I'll stay anyway." Let me tell you how we got there. Marcus Hill was 32 years old, a mechanic from Dayton, Ohio. He worked 6 days a week at a family-owned auto shop. Grease under his nails, calluses on his hands. The kind of man who didn't talk much, but showed up when it mattered. 3 years earlier, he met Alyssa at a 4th of July barbecue. She was funny, loud, impulsive. The relationship moved fast. Too fast, some people said. 2 months in, she told him she was pregnant. He did the math in his head. The timing was close, not perfect, but close enough. He didn't panic. He didn't accuse. He said, "Okay, we'll figure it out." 9 months later, a baby girl named Emma was born. From the moment Marcus held her, something shifted inside him. He had never planned on becoming a father at 29, but when Emma wrapped her tiny fingers around his thumb, he didn't care about timing anymore. He signed the birth certificate, not because anyone forced him, because he wanted to. The relationship with Alyssa didn't last. Arguments, jealousy, money stress. By the time Emma turned 1, they separated. But Marcus never stopped showing up. Diapers, doctor visits, midnight fevers, first steps. He was there for all of it. Every Saturday morning, Emma would run to the door yelling, "Daddy's here!" He'd lift her into the air like she weighed nothing. He paid child support without complaint. He took extra shifts when Alyssa needed help. To him, fatherhood wasn't paperwork. It was routine. It was sacrifice. It was love. Then, one afternoon, everything changed. Alyssa started dating someone new. Within months, she filed a petition in family court. She wanted full custody, and she wanted a paternity test. Marcus was blindsided. "What is this?" he asked her outside the courthouse. She avoided eye contact. "Ryan deserves to know if he's the real father." Ryan, the new boyfriend. Marcus felt something cold crawl up his spine. "You're questioning this now, after 3 years?" She crossed her arms defensively. "You were never 100% sure either." That part was true, but love had made it irrelevant. Court-ordered DNA testing was scheduled. Marcus didn't sleep the night before, not because he feared losing child support payments, but because he feared losing Emma. The results came back 2 weeks later. They stood in courtroom 4B, wood-panelled walls, American flag in the corner, state seal behind the bench. Judge Rebecca Lawson was known for being firm but fair, mid-50s, sharp eyes, calm voice. She opened the file, adjusted her glasses, and delivered the words that echoed across the room. "You are not the biological father." Alyssa let out a breath she'd been holding. Ryan squeezed her hand. Marcus stood still. The judge continued. "Given these results, the court will now consider termination of legal parental responsibility unless—" "That won't be necessary," Alyssa interrupted quickly. "We'll handle it." Handle it. Like he was a subscription to cancel. Judge Lawson looked at Marcus. "Mr. Hill, you have the right to withdraw from further obligation." withdraw, like it was a job, like it was optional. That's when Marcus did something unexpected. He walked toward the small wooden gate separating the tables from the spectator benches. He knelt down in front of Emma. She was colouring on a notepad, unaware that her world was being rearranged. "Hey, Peanut," he said softly. She looked up and smiled. "Daddy, look, it's us!" She had drawn 3 stick figures holding hands. Marcus swallowed hard. Judge Lawson cleared her throat gently. "Mr. Hill, please return to the table." He stood up slowly and faced the judge. "Your Honour," he said, voice steady but thick. "I may not be her biological father," he paused, "but I am her dad." The courtroom murmured. Judge Lawson leaned forward. "Legally speaking, biology matters." "With respect," Marcus replied, "I've been there for every nightmare, every scraped knee, every birthday candle. I taught her how to ride a bike. I was the one she called when she was scared of thunder." He looked back at Emma. "She doesn't know what DNA is. She just knows who shows up." Alyssa shifted uncomfortably. Ryan whispered something to her. Judge Lawson asked carefully, "Are you requesting visitation rights despite the DNA results?" "Yes, ma'am." Alyssa stood abruptly. "This is ridiculous. He's not her father. Ryan is willing to step up." Judge Lawson turned to Ryan. "Sir, have you established a relationship with the child?" Ryan hesitated. "Not yet, but I will." The judge nodded slowly. Then she asked the question that changed everything. "How many nights have you put her to bed?" Ryan didn't answer. "How many pediatric appointments have you attended?" Silence. "How many times has she cried for you in the middle of the night?" Still silence. The judge turned back to Marcus. "And you?" "All of them," he said quietly. The room felt different now. Less legal, more human. Alyssa's voice cracked slightly. "I just want what's best for her." Marcus didn't look at her. "So do I." Judge Lawson removed her glasses and set them down. "In this courtroom, biology is important, but so is stability. So is emotional attachment." She reviewed the file again. "Mr. Hill has been the child's legal father for 3 years. He signed the birth certificate voluntarily. He has provided financial and emotional support consistently." She paused. In the eyes of this court, fatherhood is more than DNA. Alyssa's lawyer shifted nervously. "Your Honour, the biological father has not yet established paternity or relationship," Judge Lawson interrupted calmly. She looked directly at Marcus. "Mr. Hill, if you choose to continue as her legal father, you understand that includes ongoing financial responsibility?" "Yes, ma'am." "And shared custody?" "Yes." "You are aware that you could walk away without legal consequence?" He didn't hesitate. "I'm not walking away." Emma suddenly left her seat and ran to him. "Daddy!" The bailiff moved instinctively, but the judge raised her hand gently. Marcus lifted her into his arms. Judge Lawson's voice softened. "This court recognises Mr. Hill as the legal father of Emma Hill. Custody will remain shared. Child support obligations remain in place." Alyssa looked stunned. Ryan looked defeated. Marcus just held Emma tighter. As they exited the courtroom, reporters outside asked questions. Word had spread. "Why would you stay?" one asked. He adjusted Emma on his hip. "Because being a dad isn't about proving it. It's about choosing it." Months later, things settled. Ryan faded out of the picture. Alyssa and Marcus developed a more respectful co-parenting relationship. It wasn't perfect, but it was stable. On Emma's 5th birthday, she blew out candles and made a wish. Marcus leaned down. "What did you wish for?" She grinned. "That you'll always be my daddy." He smiled. "That's not a wish, Peanut. That's a promise." The judge said he wasn't the father, but he refused to walk away. Because sometimes love is a choice you make every single day. And sometimes the man who stays is more important than the man who created.